take off.
Welcome to Linux Ascent channel. So in this video we are going to see how to create a partition by using the command line method in Linux operating system. So before we start creating the partition, it is very important to know the basics of the disk managements. So like the BIOS, the UEFI, then we have a MBR, what is primary partition, then what is extended partition. So BIOS means very well the basic input and output system. So when you power on the machine, this is the first program that starts when you boot up any systems. So the main task for the BIOS is to perform the hardware test on your system. It does not know anything about the operating system, file systems, etc., etc. So it's a very old method to connect and detect the hardware in the system. It does not provide any troubleshooting features, and also it runs only in the 16-bit processor mode, and it supports the MBR based partition types, and also it does not have any drivers for the latest networks and other storage devices. So it has some disadvantages also. And the next one is UEFI, so Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. Actually it came as a replacement for the BIOS. It has very good options for troubleshooting, such as the emergency mode. You can do the remote diagnosis, internet connectivity and backup. So many things you can execute by in this mode. And the next one, it can run in the 32 and 64-bit mode. It supports the MBR and GPT partitions, and it can detect and support all the latest modern devices. So the primary partition, in the sense, only you can save up to 4 partition. It allows only 4 partitions. And extended partition, in the sense, if you want to create more than 4 partition, you have to choose the extended type partitions. So first we will see how to create the partition by using the command line method. The first command is fdisk-l. So fdisk-l, in the sense, you need to check how many hard disks are connected to the operating system. So when you execute this command, it will display here I have only one hard disk connected. So the logical name of the hard disk is dev SDA. The total size of the disk is 43 GB, and we have only one partition created already. So dev SDA1 is the partition number. So to create the partition, the second step is you need to get into the format menu. So fdisk followed by the logical name of the hard disk you have to give. So fdisk followed by dev SDA, you have to give enter. So automatically it will prompt the format options. So if you press M, you can display all the available help options. So A, B, C, D, etc., etc. So to create the partition, you have to choose the option called N. So type N, then enter. So by default it will ask the extended partition, or do you want to create the primary partition. So since I have created only one partition already, so the partition number 2, so P you have to choose, then enter. So in this partition number window you have to give 2, then enter. So the first cylinder, in the sense, the OS automatically it will take the cylinders value, so no need to mention the manual cylinders values here, just enter. So the next one is the last cylinder value. So here you have to give the total size of the partition you would like to create. So you have to add the operator plus followed by the partition size you have to give 1 GB. So if you want to give 2 GB means you have to give plus 2 GB. Then enter. Now to save the partition, so we have the option called W. So W means write the table to the disk, which means save all the partition informations to the kernel memory. So that is the option W, that's it. So here you can see, right? So all the updated information has been successfully synced. Now to confirm, again execute fdisk-l command. So now you can see what dev SDA2, the partition has been created successfully and it is loaded into the kernel memory. Now to make the partition active, you have to execute the command called part probe. So part probe, in the sense, without restart, you can force the update and partition alert informations to the kernel memory. Just enter. So by default you will get some warning message, so ignore all those messages. Now To create the new file system, you have to use the command called mkfs followed by the partition number. So mkfs is the command to create the new file system, then followed by the partition you would like to format. Then enter. Yes, done. That's it. So writing anode tables is done, which indicates the partition has been formatted with the ext type file system. Now, to make the partition active, you have to mount the partition to some mount point directory. So to mount the partition, you have to create the mount point directory. So mkdir, the directory name is ICICI. Now to mount the partition, the command is mount. So mount is the command. Then space, the file system you would like to attach. So here in our case, dev sda2 is the partition. Then space, so where you are going to attach that partition. So that mount point directory name here you have to give. So below root, the folder name is what? ICICI. Then enter, that's it, done. Now to confirm how many partitions are in active state, execute def-h command. So this command will tell you the currently mounted file system information. So how many partitions are already mounted, what is the total size, how much size used, where it is mounted, all the informations it will display. Yes, here you can see, right, the default partition is dev sda1, the total size is 15 GB, and where it is mounted, the below the / directory. The last one, dev sda2, so which we have created just now, the total size, how much used, how much available, then where it is mounted. So like this you have to create the partition. You have to save the partition to the kernel memory, and then to make the partition active you have to mount it, and then you have to confirm by using df-h. Thanks for watching. To learn more about the Linux operating system or the Red Hat Enterprise, you can visit my blog. It's www.linuxvasant.com. So here you can find so many stuffs. You can learn the basics of Unix as well, the Red Hat networking. You can go to the categories, you can find so many stuffs, RHL networking, Red Hat Enterprise Servers topics, shell scripting, Solaris, Unix, and many more you can find it. So kindly subscribe and support us. Thank you.